friends, and welcome back to another October Daily Process video. In today's video, I am going to be putting together story number 5 using the design prompt of tiny phrase stickers. So every day I am drawing out a design prompt from a jar and using that to help inspire what my layout is going to look like. With tiny phrase stickers, there are all kinds of things that you can do with them. You can use them to create borders. You can use them to create your own pattern papers. You can use them as embellishments. I decided I wanted to use them inside of my journaling for my story. So what I did is I typed up a story for the day, which happened to be about the one little word live discussion that happened over Zoom, and talking about, going into the discussion, how it went, and then the fact that it wasn't recorded. So it, quote unquote, mysteriously disappeared. And I wrote a very tongue-in-cheek type of story about this event. So once I had written my story out on the computer, the next thing I did is I looked through these tiny phrase sticker sheets, which have a Halloween theme to them, and looked for words that crossed over between my journaling and the tiny phrase stickers, or words that I could substitute and have the story still make sense. After deciding what words I wanted to use, I then went into my journaling on Photoshop, made sure to allow enough space to fit those stickers into their spots without covering up any of the other journaling on my page, and printed that off on my photo. So I've got my photo here at the top. This is me sitting at my desk minutes before going live in the Zoom call. And then underneath that, I have my title, which says the mysterious disappearance of a chat that definitely happened. That was an idea that my sister-in-law gave me just as a silly kind of title for this one. And then under that is my journaling with those spaces where I am now sticking in these different tiny phrase stickers. As I was designing this, I also tried to keep in mind the variety or the balance of the colors that I'm using. So I wanted to use all three, pink, black, and orange, but I didn't want there to be, all pink at the top and then a random orange and all black at the bottom. I wanted there to be some balance. So that was another thing I kept in mind as I was doing this one. To finish off my layout, I wanted to add a number 5 into that blank space on the photo here. It's to the left of me. So I pulled out a couple number 5s. I'm flipping through them to pick the ones that I like. I will eventually debate between the plastic 5 that is black and the gold foil 5. The gold foil one's actually from the Numbers scrapbook kit from Ali Edwards, which is still available in the black. Plastic one at some point was an add-on in one of Ali's kits. I want something to go behind the number 5 though, because it just felt a little too floaty in space. So I'm going through my massive pile of die cuts to try and find something to layer behind the 5 that takes up enough space that it feels substantial, but also doesn't cover up my hand, which I was having a hard time finding something that would do that. I eventually will land on the spider web that I have on there right now. So it's the one that is straight across, with a half circle shape at the bottom. I did also place the same spiderweb die cut on my previous day's story, which this is going to go right next to. And I wasn't sure if I wanted them to look very similar. Ultimately, I'm glad that they do, because I feel like it helps tie the 2 pages together and makes it less drastic of a change between story number 4 and story number 5. So here's where I'm going to do the great debate and figure out or make the executive decision to add in the spider web. I will do so using some liquid adhesive. I'm just using Tombow Mono's liquid adhesive. It's my favorite one for adding in these little delicate types of cut files. A glue pen would also work very nicely as well. And then I'm going to choose the gold foil number 5. I think it takes up the right amount of space on my page. I didn't want it to go too far to the left because I will eventually hole punch that so I can bind it inside of my spiral bound book. After adhering this down, that is going to finish up my story for today. You can see close-up images and read the journaling if you like over on Instagram or on my blog, which will be linked in the description down below, along with links to anything I used on today's layout. I hope you enjoyed seeing this one come together. If you did, I'd love a thumbs up down below, and be sure to subscribe so you can see all of my future October daily content. I will be back very soon with story number 6. Until then, have a great rest of your day, friends. See you in the next video.